Dude, this guy looks so good. You guys know he plays the saxophone? Dude, I already knew this guy was like the best looking character in the verse, but the fact that he also plays saxophone, like, I don't know how I didn't correlate those two. I should have guessed he played saxophone from the fact that he looks so good. Anyways, Gallagher, we have access to him now. I'm on the official creator experience server, and this allows me to get early access to him so that way I can give you guys a little bit of a showcase. And just a couple disclaimers before we get started. I have a lot of things to show you about Gallagher, but first you do need to know that this is a pre-release version of the character, and all numbers are subject to change, so it's possible that this Gallagher could be slightly different from the one you see at release. Also gonna let you guys know that this footage is watermarked per request of Hoyverse, since they were so kind to give me access to this server. Basically, they don't want this footage being stolen and reused elsewhere, and they will strike down videos that they see that use the footage. I personally don't mind if you guys like react and things, but just keep in mind, if you take this footage, if you re-upload it anywhere, they may take it down, so I don't recommend doing that. Anyways, this guy's pretty cool. I want to give you a basic overview of everything that he does and how he sort of plays out, so that way you can figure out if you're interested in building him, or maybe you're just looking for something to do before 2.1 drops and you just want to look at this dude, which is understandable, me too. So first off, what is Gallagher? Gallagher is a fire abundance character. So this is a brand new archetype. We don't have any fire abundance characters in the game yet. We only have one fire preservation character, and so having a fire sustainer is going to be really, really nice. It allows you to have certain type coverage, and what's actually even nicer about that is that his specific gimmick revolves around break effect, which means that his element and his typing actually matters. Now basically, he's a little bit different from other healers because he heals only a flat amount of HP, 1446 HP. This can be increased with healing bonus, so this isn't the end all be all, but there's no percentage of his HP that matters. It's only going to be this amount of HP and healing bonus, so you get that multiplier on it. This is at skill level 9, by the way. Now this is pretty decent, especially when you consider healing bonus. Like, he heals a lot. The problem is that it is single target heals like the other 4-star healers we have, so he's got to do something else better if you want to be able to use him effectively. So let me get into the gimmicks real quick. If we go over to talent, you can see that he afflicts enemies with a state called the besotted state, which is really funny. And it increases the break damage that those enemies receive by a certain percent. And every single time one of those targets is attacked by an ally, the attacker's HP gets restored by a certain amount. Now you might be wondering, Brax, what's the besotted state? Well, aside from a really funny name for a debuff, it's something he inflicts on enemies when he uses his ultimate. It lasts for 2 turns at E0, and it dishes out some fire damage, as well as enhancing his next basic attack. Now, I cannot wait to show you this basic attack because it looks so cool. It may not do a ton of damage, but it's a really neat thing. The enhanced basic attack, I will just say straight up, reduces enemy attack by 10%, which is a debuff, and besotted state is also a debuff. So I will say for characters like Acron, someone that can add a bunch of debuffs to the enemy that is a healer is pretty dang nice. You also may have noticed that his talent had this break damage thing. Basically, one of his traces is going to give him more outgoing healing based on the amount of break effect that he actually has, which makes his heals a lot stronger. And also on his ultimate, he gets a 100% action forward due to this trace, which is really nice because it means that you can either panic heal someone if you need to, or you can use this to get an extra skill point back when you use this basic attack. So that's really nice. And then his technique makes them all besotted when you enter in. The final trace that he has makes it so that whenever he uses his enhanced basic attack to attack enemies that have the debuff from his ultimate, his talent that gives HP back will apply to all of the other allies on his team. So he does have AoE heals, it's just that they are a bit hard to trigger. So Gallagher's healing is pretty interesting overall. He's got some single target healing on his skill. He has an opportunity for AoE healing, but not a ton. And ultimately that means a couple things for this character. First off, in my opinion, I believe you want him to be fast. This is because 1, you get more healing opportunities. It's just like a safer way to play the game. 2, you can be SP positive if you have decent amount of healing on your team, or if you are funneling all of your damage over to like a destruction character. 3 is energy, so you can get his ultimate up, which is more healing. And 4 is so he can use his cool basic attack that I'm going to show you right now. Okay, so first off, before we go into battle, I love how many characters in Petticoat just kick people or knee them. Like, this is so funny. God, I wish that were me. Anyways, we'll open up with his technique. That way you can see what's going on. Boom. He pulls out his claws, digs into the mechanical dinosaur. All right, and let me show you what is up. So I'm gonna go and pull Gallagher forward just to show you guys kind of what's going on. So as you can see, he's fly as fuck. His stance is incredible, and he can single target heal anyone he wants. I'll just show you how much healing he's doing with an outgoing healing bonus piece and talent level 9 at E0. 3,100. That's pretty good, and it can get higher with Eidolons as well, so that's something to keep in mind. All right, and this is his basic attack. When it's not enhanced, he just gives him a good old kick, and this is what his ultimate's gonna look like. So here we go. This is actually one of my favorite animations, just because dude, I just think it's sick. It speaks for itself. This is just dope. This is so dope. And 57k break. So the break was pretty big. For a supported character to deal 57k is pretty big, but keep in mind, he has pretty high break effect. I've built him with break effect, and I'll show you the build a little bit before we go into MOC, but he has 141 break effect, so he's hitting pretty high break. And it's such a cool ultimate, man. Okay, so as you can see, they have Besotted, 2 turns remaining. Enemies in Besotted state will receive more weakness break damage. At the end of every attack they receive from an ally, the attacker will restore HP. So watch this. I'm gonna go ahead and attack with Silverwolf. And boom, 1246. Wait a second, Rex, why did Silverwolf get more HP? That's crazy. Well, because that's the amount of HP you're gonna get normally, but because we have outgoing healing bonus going on, it actually gets amplified. So it's a little bit more than it looks like. Getting over 1k healing for a basic attack is really cool. And speaking of basic attack, check this out. Kick him, stab him with the claws, rip out his robotic guts. It's so dope. So he's still got 2 turns remaining. All right. He's taking his extra action. And as you can see now, after taking 1 turn, he has 1 turn remaining. I mean, it's a normal debuff, right? But the downside to this is that for enemies that attack very fast, because you are reliant on a debuff for your healing, you can find yourself in some problematic situations if enemies attack really fast. Like if you're playing like really high level golden gears, or even in MOC, enemies get a lot of chances to attack. Or if you're playing like, if you freeze someone, that can become problematic because they'll burn through those debuffs really, really fast. And if they burn through the debuffs, then your teammates don't get to heal as much, which sucks. Like I want my Shui to actually go back to max HP, so I'm gonna do this. Wow, very cool. But as soon as this dinosaur acts again, that's not gonna be possible. Now the dinosaur's besotted state is going to be gone, and because it's gone, I can't heal on the dinosaur anymore. So depending on how bad you need healing, things could be problematic for Gallagher, especially at E0. Now with that said, definitely not that bad of a character for a 4-star actually. I think that he's pretty consistently good. The only downside to him is that his niche is a little specific if you want to get the full use of his kit. You want to play him in teams where you break enemies a lot, so you can't just like put him in the raw dog Jinglu ice weakness into ice resistant enemy like I do on stream at twitch.tv/Braxophone. Make sure to go follow and subscribe and stuff. You can't just do that on cooldown as much with this guy if you want to get the most out of his kit because he is focused on break. However, with that said, you can play him anywhere. It's just that like, you know, this debuff in his kit might go a little bit to waste. But okay, let me show you Memory of Chaos Gallagher. I am going to go into the level 11 one because I'm playing Shui and I'm trying to showcase break. In this one, I'm not going to be able to break fire or break quantum, so it's gonna be a bit more rough. So we're gonna go into 11. We're gonna run Gallagher as our only sustain unit here. So we're gonna keep playing this like a normal MOC. All right, so now we're gonna finally get his ult up, which is gonna help us heal up a little bit. So let's go ahead and use it. And what it's gonna do is inflict them all with a debuff. Now, whenever I attack someone on that side, gonna heal up. Well, when he attacks, it's gonna heal up my team, but whenever I attack with another one of my characters, it's gonna heal that character up. Now here is one of the downsides of E0 Gallagher. Gallagher has a cleanse on one of his Eidolons, but you have to have that Eidolon to activate the cleanse. He's not gonna be able to cleanse Sparkle. Unfortunately, Sparkle's gonna have to come to terms with the fact that she may be imprisoned forever. Unlucky, GG go next. I guess Sparkle really sucks, guys. I guess it's time to skip Sparkle. Guys, she's just really terrible. Look how imprisoned she is. Oh, Silverwolf too. Oh my gosh, they're both terrible. No, but it really is a bummer that you need to have Eidolons to cleanse with this guy because he is really, really cool. But you know, that core functionality that I feel like most healers need or most healers want is not that easy to obtain. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this to restore Silverwolf's HP. And Sparkle's not gonna actually heal because I'm not gonna basic attack with her. And this is one of the other downsides. If Sparkle attacked one of these enemies with the Poseidon debuff, she would heal up a bunch. And that is very valuable. Like she could attack this fish, she could attack the Guardian Shadow. She can't attack the Armaton, Armaton? I feel like I've never said that out loud. She can attack the Intransigentium Illumination Dragonfish. Jesus. Dude, these names are insane. She could do that and she could heal back, but she's not going to because she's a support that just like only drags characters forward. So basically her healing has to come from Gallagher. Otherwise you see a massive damage loss. And with that said, Gallagher's gonna be able to help out real soon because on the next turn, Gallagher's gonna get the ability to heal the entire team. So I'm gonna go ahead and basic attack here. Get my ultimate, and now we'll be able to heal Sparkle and Shui all in one. So now he's got his basic attack, his enhanced basic attack. You have 3 stacks on you, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit you. Boom. Sparkle's gonna get some healing back. And it's not perfect, but it was a decent amount. And now I'm gonna go and use Sparkle's ult. Gonna add fire weakness to this lady. We're gonna go ahead and debuff Cocolia. Fun stuff, fun stuff. Now, because I have the skill points and Sparkle is getting a little bit low, I am gonna go ahead and heal up Sparkle. We're gonna single target heal 3,100. A decent amount of healing, and it's gonna help out a lot. The downside is now I don't have a lot of skill points. So Shui in shambles here. But luckily for us, Gallagher's about to have his ult back, so we're gonna be able to heal everyone up on the team. Check this out. Gonna use my basic attack. We get the action forward from the trace that he has. That's going to allow him to attack again and instantly heal. Also, you'll notice that the follow-up attack from Shrey also healed her, so that is something that is worth noting, is that you can heal from follow-up attacks. All right, he's gonna attack, Several's gonna get some eels, and we are back to normal. Now keep in mind, this is MOC 11, right? So this one's not gonna be the most challenging setup for MOC, and I'll show you guys MOC 12 right after. But here is the real test, the real issue. When Gallagher gets CC'd, it is rough. And it's similar with other sustainers, but there's sustainers that are particularly good even when they're CC'd. Like Lucha's gonna still be pretty good if you have his flower up. Ushwan's gonna be pretty good just because she's a preservation character and she's still gonna absorb some of that damage even if she's stopped in time. So realistically speaking, Gallagher has no defense against that unless you get his Eidolons, which we will talk about right after this. All right, but now for the moment of truth. Gallagher is gonna go ahead and break Acolia for a ton of damage and finish off the MOC because he's a badass. Look at this dude. Boom! 54k break. Now, the downside to Gallagher, as I mentioned, his Eidolons make him a lot better. For example, when you get E1, he regenerates 20 energy at the start of battle. You know, that's pretty good. It gives you an emergency heal sooner and increases effect res by 50%. Now, if you'll notice, the effect res doesn't actually have a turn limit on it. So you actually just get 50% effect res all the time, which is insane. And then on top of that, E2 is gonna be the one that gives cleanse, and it also gives your teammates effect res whenever you use your skill on them. So instantly, these two make survivability of Gallagher and survivability of your teammates go way up just for having E2. Having E4 makes it so that his healing lasts longer because he gets one extra turn on his Besodden state that he applies with his ultimate. So this is like a 50% uptime increase, which is absolutely insane. And then E6 increases his break effect and his weakness break efficiency. The weakness break efficiency is the thing I'm more focused on because you can definitely get high enough like break effect with him normally to overcap on the healing bonus portion. So honestly, E6 isn't even like that insane. E1 and 2 are crazy, and E4 is also gonna be a really big jump for him. And I'm not gonna say he's unviable without E4, but he's definitely really good with it. Now, luckily for us, he's a 4-star, right? So you're not gonna go like whale a ton, unless maybe you know, actually that is, that could be pretty unlucky. Might unironically be harder, like statistically speaking, to get Gallagher than Acron. So, but the best part of all of his Eidolons, of every single Eidolon that Gallagher has, there is one that stands out among the rest. All right, so before we go into MOC again, I'm gonna go in with Acron this time. Right now, I'm using What Is Real. This is the new Abundance Light Cone that increases break effect, and it restores HP after using basic attack. This one it's pretty good for Gallagher. I would say as far as your free-to-play options go, this is one of the best ones, because he wants break effect to increase his outgoing healing bonus. So all in all, it's a pretty good cone. For relics, I'm running 2-piece outgoing healing bonus, 2-piece break effect, and then Kingdom of Banditry. I'm not actually reaching the speed threshold for this, but that's totally okay, because it's gonna give me 16% break effect anyways, which is gonna help me reach that maximum outgoing healing bonus. This guy can heal a lot. It really is a lot. And especially once you get Eidolons that extend the length to which he can actually heal, and the effect res stuff and giving your teammates effect res, he ends up being a lot better. Now, I want to show you him with Acron because he actually has debuffs he applies to enemies, and that makes Acron even stronger. So if you watched my other video, you saw Acron starts with 5 stacks whenever she goes into battle. Now she's starting with 6 because we gave them a debuff right when we entered battle, thanks to Gallagher. And we could have given him a debuff with other characters, but I just wanted to do Gallagher to spice it up and also make sure we have healing right off the bat. Gonna go ahead and ice res shred them. Not that it matters at all. Gonna give her 7 stacks. Gonna pull up Acron. Boom. Ult time. Casual 400k Acron moment. Now this is the fun part. Acron has 2 stacks right now. I'm gonna go ahead and use Gallagher's basic attack into his ult. His ult is going to apply debuff to them and give Acron 1 stack, putting her at 3. Then Gallagher's gonna get action forward by 100%, and it's gonna give him another action that's going to lower their attack because of his enhanced basic attack, Jesus. And then that's gonna give Acron a total of 4 stacks out of the 9 that she needs. Do this, ult, apply the debuff that gives us healing whenever we hit them. That gives her 3. Go ahead, basic attack, boom, another debuff, up to 4. So Gallagher, just on his ult turn, was able to give Acron an extra 2 stacks, which was super awesome. Giving Acron 5 stacks, use this so I don't overcap, Madge, pulling Acron forward. And remember that Sparkle's buff lasts until the beginning of her next turn, so if I activate another 2 debuffs, Acron could go while holding Sparkle's buff. Get a basic attack here, it's gonna put us at 8 stacks, gonna go ahead and use ultimate. Now, I'm gonna do something a little funky here. Acron is not overcapped on anything. I'm gonna show you guys this because why not? This is like, in my opinion, probably the better way to play this out. I want her to get bonus stacks whenever she starts the next cycle. If she starts the next cycle and she's not first to go, it's gonna be a little awkward. So I'm gonna go ahead and use her skill right here so she gets 2 extra stacks that she can use right after she ults. And when we kill this guy here in a second, Should go into the next round with 2 stacks already without having to take return, which is gonna be nice. Gonna go ahead and skill this guy. Now, unfortunately, these guys are not debuffed by Gallagher, so we're not gonna heal when we hit them. That puts us in an incredibly vulnerable position, especially considering Sparkle is targeted. So unfortunately, if Sparkle gets hit with something hard, she's dead. But we were able to heal her up with Gallagher. And now I'm gonna go ahead and do 2 things. First off, I'm gonna go ahead and ult with Gallagher. The ult is gonna apply debuff, putting Acron at 6 stacks. And then 7 after I use his basic attack, which is gonna be right after Pela. So I'm gonna use Pela's skill. 7, gonna be 8, gonna be 9, and heal the entire team. And then if I was not brain dead, I would have used Sparkle first. But unfortunately, I am a whole clown. In fact, I am the whole circus, so I did that. All right, so we took a decent amount of damage there. Acron's in danger. It's not looking too good for my girl here. We go ahead and do this, apply a debuff, get 4 stacks, do this, bring Acron forward. Acron is in danger, but they still have the debuff from Gallagher up. So that means when I attack them, Acron's gonna heal for a bunch of HP. And go ahead and do this. Boom. Healed a ton of HP. Gonna go ahead and heal up Sparkle too, just so that she's safe. Now I get the opportunity to use Gallagher yet again. So I can do this. Truthfully, it would have been better to use Pela ult there first, but now we're giving Acron some extra stacks as well, so she can go even sooner. Now, if I attack, because I have the enhanced basic, it's gonna heal Acron as well. Give her a stack. We're gonna get some bonus stacks now. Boom, bonus stack 1. We have 3 bonus stacks. A bunch of them just died, and now Sam's about to take a ton of damage. Sam in a world of hurt. We start with 4 stacks right after because we applied a debuff. Very fun, very fun. So Gallagher, as you can see, he can hold his own. He's pretty solid. You just have to make sure that you have the right build on him. I'm not gonna continue this. It's taken a really long time, but he's a pretty solid 4-star. And with Eidolons, he gets even better. Now you might be wondering, Brax, what teams do you actually put Gallagher in? Because he seems like he has this break niche that he would be exceptional in, but at the same time, he seems like he can just fit anywhere. And that is the beauty of Gallagher, is that even though he does have that break niche and where he's gonna excel and help buff your characters like Shui, for example, he doesn't have to be in that because his healing is actually pretty decent overall. It's just that he really thrives in setups where enemies need to have a lot of debuffs on them. For example, one character that can take a lot of advantage of him is actually Dr. Ratio. Dr. Ratio gets more opportunities for follow-up attacks if the enemy has debuffs on them, and Gallagher helps add to that. In fact, Gallagher's main role, even though he does buff break effect, his main role is arguably just to debuff the enemy. And the debuffs honestly aren't even that meaningful in my opinion. The debuffs are just heal your team when you attack them and lower their attack. And if you know anything about Star Rail endgame, attack lowering is not that important yet. Maybe it'll be important later. But just the fact that he can place debuffs on enemies makes him a great partner for Acron and Dr. Ratio. And as far as break effect niche, playing with characters like Shui could also be very, very good for him. But all in all, I think it's pretty flexible. My main suggestion is just bring him against fire weak enemies. But even if you don't, he's still gonna get the job done. Honestly, I'm pretty impressed. He's not exceptional. Well, I mean, he looks exceptional, but he's not anything exceptional, you know. He's not gonna be whoa that gives energy to your entire team and also gives them a giant attack buff, but he's a pretty solid healer, and if you do get Eidolons for him, he ends up being a lot better. So as usual, I will be making a guide on Gallagher that goes into more of the theory crafting behind him and tells you guys exactly what he does, his optimal teams, and his niche. But for now, these are my first impressions, and honestly, I'm pretty impressed with Gallagher. I do like him a lot. Also because, you know, he plays saxophone, but I'm not biased. I'm not biased. I think saxophone players are pretty cool, but personally, I think that everyone thinks saxophone players are pretty cool. Like and subscribe if you're a saxophone player. And if you're not a saxophone player, like and subscribe if you wish you did play saxophone. And if you don't wish you played saxophone, then like and subscribe anyways. Anyway, but bye.